In this episode of the IT Experts podcast, we're going to take 2023 and give it a bit of a review. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast, the only podcast to help MSPs scale to 1 million, and if already there, get to 5 and go fast. At the end of the day, isn't it all about building a business that works for you rather than you for it? I hope you enjoy the show. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast. And if you're listening to this for the first time, happy Christmas, because this has been released on Christmas Day. Can you believe? How are we doing today, Stuart?
Fantastic, Ian. Fantastic.
Great stuff. Well, today we're going to do a bit of a review of 2023. There's some amazing things that went on in the Growth Hub this year, in the community, in the channel, all over the place, really. And we're going to review our top 4 podcasts that kind of made a difference. But what a year it's been, hasn't it, Stuart?
Oh, it's been amazing. You know, every year seems to fly by. This year is yet one of those again. And it's always amazing how much you actually get done when you look back.
And the thing that I love about, working in the channel is just the different types of people you're meeting at different types of events, what's going on with security, what's going on with leadership, how people are deciding to grow their businesses differently. And we've just seen an absolute, I'm going to use the word kaleidoscope of just different things that's kind of happened. And particularly as the Growth Hub's kind of grown an awful lot this year as well, hasn't it?
It has indeed. Yeah. And I think kaleidoscope's a great word.
Do you like it?
Yeah, well, whichever way you twist it, you get a different pattern, and I think that's a really.
I might
good
come up with something rather special. Isn't it? This podcast is going to be this is a little bit unstructured for some strange reason, but nevertheless, we're going to have a bit of fun with it anyway. So we're going to share with you some of the things that we've learned and we've heard, and what's going on in the Growth Hub, and then next week we're going to give you some things so you can get 2024 kicking off to an amazing start. So one of the things that we heard quite a bit this year as we were going out talking to people in the channel was that people didn't know where to start when growing their MSPs. I was actually at the Managed Service Summit and I was chatting to some people and I was sort of saying, how do you plan your growth? How do you do things differently? And because there's so much stuff, inverted commas, kind of out there, in episode 139 of the podcast, Where Do I Start When I Want to Grow My MSP? We put together the kind of the format around that. But this is a real blocker, isn't it, Stuart? It's kind of like getting off the starting post. It's how do people get moving? What do they need to do? What process do they need to follow? Because there is literally so much help and support on all the different elements of growing your MSP. And which bit do I need to do first? I've tried some of it and it doesn't work. Marketing takes too long. It's blooming expensive. I'm not actually a marketing person. I'm a techie. So how do I kind of know what that was all about? And this was a really great thinking moment, wasn't it? For a lot of our prospects, clients, channel partners, friends, all that sort of thing. And where the hell do you kind of start when we're going to go into the details of this, but why do you think this was such a massive question?
Well, I think it's like anything, isn't it? It's like, I know I want to grow. I know I want to run in the London Marathon or the Paris Marathon next year, but where do I start? Okay, it's obvious because we all know we'll start at the beginning. Well, what does the beginning look like?
Yep.
Do I buy a pair of trainers? Do I get a coach? Do I start losing weight? Do I need to go to the gym first? In relation to the marathon.
Yep.
And all of the answers to all of the above might be yes, depending on you. So in what order do I do it? And I think as a result, people get frozen with the size of the goal, but then what piece of the jigsaw do I pick up first?
Yeah.
And as a result, they don't do anything.
No.
Or they try something and they're guessing and it's not the right thing for them, or it is the right thing and they don't know how to implement it because they're trying to do something that they aren't ready for themselves. And that gets frustrating. It's like, I've done that. That didn't work. But actually, was it the right thing for you to do at the right time? And actually, did you have all the knowledge you needed to be able to execute it for step 1? Because you were trying to execute step 10.
Yeah.
And therefore it wouldn't work, would it? Trying to run a whole marathon in the first month of training to do a marathon and you've never done one, you would fail abjectly. And so I think there's a lot of that goes behind it. And so when you came back and you posed that conversation that you'd had to us, and it was like, that's what we do. Where do you start?
And we sat here and we go, we sat there and we went, well, it's obvious where to start, isn't it? Well, it's not bloody obvious where to start, is it? Otherwise, people wouldn't be saying, for us, it's obvious because we've got a process and a proven methodology on how to scale and grow your MSP, blah, blah, blah. End of the sales pitch for now. But, we kind of know how it works. But
because we live and breathe it
every single day. But we know that MSPs don't. They only dip in and out of it, maybe if lucky once a week, or when things get harder, when they look at the bank balance at the end of the month or the end of the year and they go, oh, bloody hell, we haven't grown the businesses as much as we wanted to. And this is a bit of a sales and marketing thing as well. So listen to your customers and hear what they're saying to you, and don't just say, oh, well, they must know where to start. Because Microsoft 365 does this. Or it does. Well, there's a reason why someone's asking that question, and I think that's a really key thing. But it is really about the C word, isn't it? Because it's about consistency. Because you've got your plan and you know what you need to do, but we give up so easily, don't we? We do. And which is why 96% or 99% of New Year's resolutions fall by the wayside by the first week of February. Yeah.
And I think it's also why so many MSPs fail to scale and struggle, because it's actually about consistency of doing the right thing in the right order. A la that analogy talking about the marathon, because if we start at the wrong point, it will just be too difficult and we'll give up.
And if you don't have don't understand what those individual steps are when you move. Did you know fail to scale rhymes? That's really cool.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Are you surprised I said that?
No, I'm not surprised, but I think we should make another piece of content out of it. certainly at some point. Anyway, back on with the thing. So that was an interesting episode, 139. Where do I start? So look, if this year is the year for you, look, I want to do something about it. I'm fed up with doing what I'm doing. It is around timing. It's around, you can actually have quite a successful MSP just by being in business a long time and building a great team around you. But if you want to accelerate that, go and listen to that episode. And kind of leaning into that one as well, episode 146 was how do I get fresh new leads from my MSP. We've done a lot of work this year with our clients, kind of tactically as well on marketing. And we've got some great friends, Mark Copeman, Dave Sutton, Paul Green, nearly forgot his surname then. So if he's listening to this, tell me if you listen to this, Paul, because you say you do, but I'm not sure if you do. But if you do, Happy New Year to you. And all of those great resources out there for marketing. But we're working, as I say, a little bit more tactically with some of our clients, with a framework on that this year. But again, this is weird. I'm not going to say an ugly head, because this is an amazing opportunity for MSPs, but a little bit like we don't know where to start. But what would here you go, I'm going to hit you with a question you didn't ask, I'm going to ask you now. What would if an MSP wants to start getting some new fresh leads in his MSP in 2024, what's the where should he start? What's the one thing that you would suggest they do?
Well, there's a question. Is that me buying time?
You are trying to buy time, but I know you know the answer, so you should just start talking.
I think every MSP that we come to says, "I just need more leads."
Yep.
I want to grow my MSP, and I just need more business. And yes, at an intellectual level, yes, if I had more customers, I would have more sales, and I would have a bigger business. But actually, is more leads the right thing for you?
So you're flipping the question on its head.
I am completely. Do you need more leads, or do you need something else? Because if we gave you 10 new customers tomorrow, what would break first? However, saying that, if you've got the capacity to cope, then where do you get more leads? It's by attracting the right kind of lead to you. I think in the MSP space, it's quality over quantity. Mm-hmm. And so depending, and you're all different out there. We've got clients that are focused, specifically on 1 to 5 user clients, which many are trying to get away from. We've got many that are looking at that 10 to 20, 10 to 30 user seat base as an ideal client. And we've got others that are looking purely for 50 to 900 seats. And getting clear on exactly who is right for you is the starting point. And the thing, though, with this, Ian, as we say, is it's the boring bit.
Yep.
Everybody's heard it. If you Googled it, it would say, yes, understand your ideal client. If you went and engaged a marketing agency, say, who's your ideal client? And you go, well, it's anyone with an IT problem.
Anybody who's walking.
You might be specific enough to say anybody with 20 to 40 users. Great. But it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
It goes a lot deeper than there. And when you get that bit right, it makes the copywriting, the website structuring, the middle of funnel, the call to actions so much easier, because you are absolutely clear on exactly who you work for and how you then need to resonate with them. So in 2024, if you want more leads, work out how you resonate at an emotional level with the right client that's right for you.
I knew you'd come back to answer the question. Thanks, mate. And it's as simple as that, but it is the hard bit. Go and talk to existing clients. Go and talk while you're prospecting people and you're having sales conversations. Listen to them, listen to what they want. And but more importantly, go and listen to episode 146, How to Get New Fresh Leads, because that will tell you exactly how to do it. Right, episode 144 was an epic episode.
It was.
And if anybody who's listening to this, could please share why it was such an epic episode, you'd really help me out. So the title of the show was The Art of Having a Difficult Conversation with our leadership coach, Julie Hutchinson. And she is an amazing individual, person, human.
Is it Hutchinson or is it Hutchinson?
Just don't even get me on it. I keep calling her Hutchinson and I get in trouble for it. So what I do now is whenever I say it, you'll hear me say Hutchinson. So you get this little high piece, this little skip in the middle of it.
Sorry, Julie.
Yes, we are sorry, Julie. Sorry, not sorry. Because, I've been putting my heart and soul into this podcast for probably just over nearly 100 episodes before you rocked up. And now we're probably on about 169, 170, something like that. But this show that Julie helped put us together, which was How to Have a Difficult Conversation, so on the leadership side of things, blew all the analytics out of the water. And we kind of don't know why. So at the time of recording, we're looking anywhere between 350, 400 downloads a week, which we're delighted with from a niche podcast. This 1 week, this show went out. Julie got 2,500. So she was absolutely cock-a-hoot and delighted because it was something we did on the back of a couple of conversations we had with some of our clients. So it was like, what the hell has happened here? So obviously Julie's the golden guest onto this. But, talking about leadership, talking about consistency of one-to-ones and building a great team and owner not needed, getting you out the way of the business and all of this kind of great stuff. Why do MSP business owners find it so hard to have a difficult, uncomfortable, maybe tricky, conversation with their people? Because
it's with people. And it's not technology.
And I like computers.
Well, yeah, to simplify it in a humorous way, technology doesn't argue back, does it?
No.
It might not work, but it doesn't argue back.
It doesn't go off sick.
Or it doesn't go quiet and it doesn't go sick. Or it doesn't say yes when it means no, or no when it means yes.
Sometimes does.
Sometimes does. So, it's complex, isn't it? And, staff also are not one of, but usually the biggest expense in a business. And by not engaging in proper conversations, let's not say difficult conversations, proper conversations, is you're not getting to the heart of the matter. And so as a result, it gets put off. Therefore, they don't get feedback. They don't get a chance to voice their opinion. You don't do the same. Therefore, everyone's working in the dark. It's a bit like blind leading the blind. Ultimately, because you're not communicating effectively, they're not having a chance to talk to you or be heard. So therefore, they're having to guess what they think it is you want, or try and remember what it was you said when you last said it, whenever that was. And so it becomes, well, as I said, the blind leading the blind. But conversations don't have to be difficult. I think they're difficult in your head, as opposed, because you haven't got a process. And if you're not naturally, many MSPs have never actually come out of other businesses or been in managerial positions where they've had to manage other people. Yeah. So it is a bit scary. If you go back, if you think back, if you're comfortable managing people, think back to the first time you ever had to have a one-to-one or run an annual appraisal. You probably didn't know what you were doing.
No.
And you either blagged it or you avoided it.
Or you had a list that someone told you to say, start at the top and finish at the bottom. And this is how to have this conversation.
Yeah. And you probably thought it was a waste of time. And you could have been doing something better with your time. And this is what goes on because when you're an MSP business owner, you're busy, particularly at this growing stage. And so there's always something better to be doing. And I haven't got time to spend an hour or more sitting down, chatting about stuff, because you haven't got a process and you haven't got a framework and you can't see the point and the value. But the value is enormous and it magnifies the bigger you get.
So if you want to make Julie's episode even more popular, go back and listen to that one, 144. We'll put all the links to these in the show notes, but the art of having that difficult conversation, or as Stuart said, the art of having a proper conversation with Julie, which is absolutely cool. Okay, last but not least, everyone's busy being busy doing things. Am I doing the right things? Am I focused on the right things? Am I being consistent? Probably. If you think you are, then you think you're not, then you're probably right, whichever one it is. But in episode 140, we asked Stuart, how do I find more time in my day? Because all the time, especially as every client kind of comes into the Growth Hub, they're overwhelmed doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, or shouldn't be doing. That's the wrong way around to say it. They should be focusing on other things rather than their happy place, which we kind of touched on a little bit in the last little episode. But people are busy. There's loads of distractions out there. There's loads of vendors out there, and we love the vendors because they help keep the channel alive. But also, guys, you're just causing so much distraction every time you bring out a new little shiny widget or a new plugin or a new API or a new bit of something. You're going to whack AI in front of anything, and that you're going to just turn the heads of all these MSP business owners any day to have a look at your new product, service, system, whatever it might be. So loads of distractions out there, lots of competition out there, so that they think there's competition because MSPs all do the same things, but we know they don't. Why is this such a big thing, Stuart? Why is it particularly in this industry that, focus, concentration? Is it around lack of planning? Is it around lack of understanding, as we sort of said, on what to do next? Is it the way that the MSPs' brains are wired?
It's about control. We forget that we're in control of our time. And we grow up or we start a business, and actually it's defined by our time. What we do literally in front of our nose, fixing this, fixing that, picking the phone up to that, responding to a text for that or a ticket for this, fitting in that, getting under the server that, ordering this, sending the invoice out for that. It's constant doing, and it's obvious what you need to do. But as you get bigger and you take on that first team member, you get more clients. What we forget is that we're in control of our time, because time is all you've got at the time, and you're trying to fill the time. You have no customers and you've got no business. Then you get one customer and you fill all of your time serving that one customer, because it's the first customer you've ever got. You haven't got anything in place, so it takes time to do everything. So you fill your time. Then you get 2 clients and you fill your time with 2 clients. But after a while, it's not about what you do with the clients, or it shouldn't be, but you've been trained by yourself to define your time by what you do with clients. And so stopping, as we would have said in the original podcast, stop, because you are in control. Take stock, stop and take stock. See, we're on rhyming today.
Okay. Stop and take. That wasn't as good as fail to scale.
Okay.
Fail to scale was pretty good.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll do a webinar on that and I'm dedicated to you.
Stop, take stock of where you're spending your time, and realize that you can redistribute what you do with that time. You can delegate stuff, you can not do stuff, and focus on the things that are most important to you, depending on what is important to you. And that brings us back to having a plan, knowing what is going to make the biggest difference this week, next month, this year. And I think it boils down to that, control. You are in control of your destiny. What is your destiny? Where do you want to end up at the end of this year? And what is it that you are going to do with your time to get there?
And what are you going to do differently next year than you did this year?
Yeah.
What's going to make that shift change? What's going to make that pattern interrupt?
It is. And these are all cliches, but cliches are cliches because there's wisdom in cliches when you boil it down. And so, what got you here isn't necessarily likely to be what gets you there. So just remember, if you're feeling like you haven't got any time, remember you're in control of your time. Very
sobering thought to end there. Almost like you're telling everybody off. But why not indeed? We just wanted to give you a bit of a sharp blast. There's something to listen to over the Christmas break. And kind of just to share with you again that, if you want to make 2024 if you're curious how to make 2024 better than 2023, and you will only be able to decide what that looks like. The Growth Hub's grown. We're working with nearly 50 MSPs now. We've had some amazing traction with, speaking on some international stages this year, which has been brilliant. And just go and hit the website, mspgrowthhub.com. On there, we've now got an events page, which has got recordings of all our webinars that help you with some of the things around leadership, how to build my business, how to grow the business, how to, get more leads and sales and things like that. We've got an amazing Facebook group. I think there's about 450 MSPs in there right now. Go and hit that Scale with Confidence Facebook group. But, most importantly, if you want to know what the next best thing, the next step is for you, go and hit the quiz. Go to on the website, go and hit the quiz. We have a MSP Mastery quiz, and it will share with you some information about where you are right now, where you want to be, what's kind of in the gap. And when you're ready, and if the time's right, just reach out and just hit the button to have a chat with either myself or Stuart, and we'll help you get closer to owner not needed. We'll help you get closer to where you want to be running that profitable business that you're running rather than you running itself.
Yeah, Ian, brilliant. Go find whatever you need in terms of resources to help you make 2024 a great year. But just remember, we're about to close down for Christmas. I hope you can close down for Christmas. Have a great time. Be present with your family or friends, whatever you're doing, and look after yourself. Some quality time out to have a think, plan, drink, and be merry, as Ian would say, and let's get ready for what next year has to hold, because it's not just a year in isolation. It's just part of the journey.
And it's up to us to decide what we want to do in next year. So thank you, from me particularly, for, all the support we've had on the podcasts. If you're still listening to this point, do us a favour and pop over to iTunes and give us a rating and review. That would be brilliant. And all the support from all our clients, all people that we've been meeting in the channel, and everybody out there. So enjoy yourselves, have a great time, and we'll catch up with you in the new year. Take care. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, I'd love it if you could leave a rating and review on your favourite podcast platform. If you want to learn more about how to take your MSP to $1 million, or if you're already there, go faster, then come and join Stuart Warwick and myself in the Scale with Confidence Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. You go and enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.